So, welcome to the live broadcast of Kallimäki podcast for everybody on IG and FB. We are going to continue our discussion a little bit in English with Sinuhe Wallinheimo. So, welcome again to the broadcast, Sinkku.
Thanks.
So we were just talking about Texas, and you were visiting Texas as in the role of MP. Is that correct?
Yes, we were there with the Committee for the Future a couple months ago, and we visited Mexico, and then we went to Texas, and we were checking out the drive there, and it's pretty good right now.
And we're going to discuss a little bit about the municipal elections and Jyväskylä in general from the eyes of a Finnish international or an international person living in Jyväskylä. But regarding this Texas trip, what can we be inspired about as people in Jyväskylä of this drive that there is in Texas? A lot of people moving in. There's certainly a lot of business there, a lot of tech, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of tech there. All the big companies are putting their headquarters there right now because the taxation, it's quite low there. There's no state tax and corporate tax. It's very, very low there too. So there is, for example, Tesla just moved their headquarters there. Also, it's much cheaper to live there. It's 6-7 times cheaper than if you live in the East Coast or West Coast. And then there is not a strong labor union there. And the weather is pretty nice. And actually, those colleges or universities there, they're getting actually now people or teachers from the Ivy League schools and so on. So there is a lot of drive going on right now in Texas.
Did you discuss how big the oil business is now? Is that old news and tech is the new thing now, or is oil still going strong in Texas?
Oil is still going strong there, and there's a lot of companies. For example, Shell is right there, and we actually visited their research center there. They're doing actually a lot of good things there too. But also there's a lot of the new green energy there. There's a lot of companies there, and they're innovating a lot of different kind of methods there. So there is still oil, but I wouldn't say it's a big thing. Well, it's a big thing there still, but there's a lot of tech companies. There's a lot of green energy companies. There is a lot of space industry there, and for example, the medical center of Houston or Texas, it's very, very big and it's very innovative right now.
Well, the good thing about green technologies and tech in general is that it's easy to move, especially nowadays that everything is digital. So we can't get an oil well and all the related business to Jyväskylä, but we can get green tech and digital services headquarters more and more in Jyväskylä, at least in theory. So what should we do in Jyväskylä to sort of replicate the atmosphere that you mentioned you saw in Texas? How can we make Jyväskylä
great
and great again?
Well, first of all, we should lower our taxes. I don't know if that's possible, but we have a lot of educated tech people here. So, I mean, we have plenty of potential here. We have a lot of innovations coming from Jyväskylä, and it's not bad at all. But the thing is that if you're in Texas or if you're in Jyväskylä, you have like 5.5 million population here in whole Finland, and for example, in Houston, there is already 7 million people living in that area. So the dimensions, they're very different. But I mean, there is a lot of good tech companies started their business here, and then they moved from here maybe to some other Scandinavian countries and so on. So yeah, you can do it in here, but you need a lot of money. For example, I don't think we have so much money or actually risk money here in Finland in general that the US or Texas have right now. We went to AI company that collected 100 million in 3 days. So that's that kind of money. It's not here, but you can actually start very good business here Jyväskylä, even in Finland, and then move on from here.
There's a lot of students who come to Jyväskylä, graduate, can't find a job, then they leave. How could we get a lot of that capital, let's say, knowledge capital to stay here? How can we get those people to find a job here?
Well, in Jyväskylä or even in Finland, we have a little bit, how do you say, we don't tolerate different kind of people. I'm sorry to hear that, but there's a lot of companies. There's a lot of, for example, foreign students who actually could work here, but they don't find the job, and they cannot find the job, and that's kind of sad because there is a lot of potential in those people. But in general, we have a little bit issues in our companies to take. To give the first job to these foreign students, and it's been on here. It's getting better. We have a lot of good companies, for example, Supercells, and those who actually have more people from the outside working here than Finnish people. But in general, I think there is a little attitude problem here in Finland how to give jobs to these foreign students or foreigners.
I worked in an outlier company because we were 80% an export company. So of course our sales was international. For example, it was easier to sell to people who were not Finnish in Italy, in Germany.
Yeah.
But so our employee base, even on the production floor, was multi-ethnic. But as I understand, it's not the usual way. Usually, it's probably more heterogenic or homogenic, and the employee base is mostly Finnish. So I think we would need a lot of those root level connections of people,
and a little bit attitude change too.
Yeah. And to our company, for example, we employed somebody's neighbor, somebody's friend, and so on, and suddenly we have people from many religions, many ethnicities, many languages.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a good example. But in general, like I said, there is a little attitude problems with our companies, but there will be more foreign people working in Finland in the future. There will be more foreign students here, so we should get rid of this kind of a bad attitude and start giving them jobs and so on. So, but it will come there. But it's a cultural change. We have to change our attitudes a little bit. But it will come because we need more foreign people working here in Finland. We need more foreign students here and so on. So it's gonna come. It's gonna come, but unfortunately, it's taking a little bit too long right now.
When you visit companies in Jyväskylä region, how many companies do you see that have people there working in office who don't speak Finnish at all but are 100% international focused people?
There is a lot of international businesses here in Jyväskylä. There is also a lot of businesses that are just purely Finnish, but I mean, it's getting bigger. For example, if you're in tech business or something that actually have the same language, whatever, if you're here or somewhere else in the world. So those advanced businesses, they are using English more and more, and like I said, it will come, but it's taking time.
In Jyväskylä, we have some big projects like the Toyota project. We are getting huge investments from Toyota, and that would probably be an opportunity for many international people to
especially work with the Japanese students. I don't know how many Japanese students we have here, but that language could be very, I would say, crucial if we're gonna continue with the business with Toyota. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna need a lot of. I mean, we need here in Jyväskylä, we need a lot of different languages. We have a lot of different kind of students here for many countries. So it would be a good thing for Jyväskylä if these people find jobs in Jyväskylä, because right away you have kind of an international view in that business.
As a politician here in the local level, well, also as an MP, you meet a lot of people. So what's your idea? What are the biggest pain points of the internationals living in Jyväskylä? We are talking about jobs, but let's talk about life in general. What do you think? Are there other big pain points living in Jyväskylä as an international right now?
To be honest with you, I don't really know. I would think there is some problems with the bank accounts and social security numbers and stuff like that. But those are small, minor obstacles, because I've lived 11 years all over the world, and Finland, oh boy, it's such a good country to live in. It's secure. There is freedom of speech is very high here. People they actually like other foreigners, even though there is some other rumors too. But we do like different cultures, and Finnish people are kind of laid back. We're a little bit afraid sometimes if there's people coming from other countries, but we get used to it very fast, and we have pretty good attitude for the foreign people. So there's a lot of good things in Finland that we don't actually see when we're living outside Finland. For example, I could say that the warm water. When I was living in the central parts of Europe, there was no warm water during the winter times. So things like that, everything is all set here in Finland, and we are the happiest nation in the world. So what could go wrong?
You're a former professional sportsman, ice hockey, but what would be some best places to do some sports or exercise in Jyväskylä? What are your favorite things to do in Jyväskylä that you could say to somebody who is right now thinking, well, maybe I'll move to Jyväskylä, but what could I or what could my kids do there?
Well, there's plenty of sports here in Jyväskylä that you could actually exercise. I assume that there's basically all the normal sports that you could actually exercise here and have a hobby of that. But if I would be here first time, I would probably go to see the Finnish baseball. Right now it's not possible, but it's a fun sport, and they don't actually, or there's no other leagues around the world with Finnish baseball, and it's a little bit different. If you know the US baseball, it's totally different. It's much faster, and the bases are a little bit different. But that would be something that I could actually show to my foreign friends that come here and check out the Finnish baseball.
Now, you've been a member of the National Coalition Party now for a long time. This is your 5th election on the local level. So what would be your message to the internationals living in Jyväskylä? How would you motivate them, and what would you say that would be great for them to consider National Coalition Party as their political home if they want to get elected and become politically active here in Jyväskylä and Keski-Suomi?
Well, first of all, we need some international daycare centers. We need international classes, for example, for the people that are coming here, so they can actually learn with their own language and then mix it with Finnish language. That's very important, so they actually feel welcome here. Then, there is a lot of companies that need international people right now in Finland or in Jyväskylä. And if you talk about National Coalition Party, we are probably the most pro-European party in Finland. We do a lot of international connections with other parties in Europe, and I don't know if you have seen it, but our president, who used to be a member of National Coalition Party, just saw Donald Trump, and they played 4 or 5 hours golf and discussed it almost 7 hours with together, and that kind of people we have at our party. Very international, very open-minded for foreign people, and that's a good pace. That's a good spot to be in.
And you made a special promise. It's in Finnish language here, but
I
this
cannot
promise,
see it in my classes.
promise of about the exercise that you promise that every kid, every youth has a possibility to have a hobby, and you want to make exercise places, sports places more accessible to people living in Jyväskylä, and make the health and well-being of people here in Jyväskylä better through these sports services. So how exactly would you do that with all the experience you already have on the politics here in Jyväskylä?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of places to exercise or do their hobbies, but the thing is, for foreign students or foreign people that are coming to Jyväskylä, and if you have kids, just put them right away to some kind of hobby, because that's the best way to integrate those kids to our society. And there's actually a study made that for a best way for youth people to integrate to the Finnish society is to play soccer. And that actually gives the example like how important hobbies are for young people. So they actually can accelerate their integration to this nation.
That's amazing. It works on the presidential level with
Yeah,
golf.
it does. It does.
It works with soccer on the student and kid level. But as I recall, when we were in Kallimäki podcast last time with you, you mentioned that you're also a choir singer.
Yeah, that's true.
So would you recommend something like that in Jyväskylä?
Why not? There's plenty of good cultural movements here too. I mean, there's choir. I played also violin. I mean, you can actually exercise whatever you want here. If it's culture, if it's sports, there's plenty of opportunities for kids, for adults, and so on. So it's we take care of our sports here in Jyväskylä. We take care of our culture here, so there's plenty of opportunities to do whatever you want here in Jyväskylä.
We could talk a little bit about the safety of the city center here in Jyväskylä, because that's going to be important to everybody who's considering coming to Jyväskylä. So that's also one of your main themes for this election. So give us a couple of points that you could do right now to make the city center of Jyväskylä more safe.
Well, first of all, if you're coming from other country, for example, from Europe, Central Europe, or States or India or whatever, Finland is safe. It is very safe place. I've seen it. So that's not a problem. But in a way, we can actually do a better job here too. And then we go to the central part of Jyväskylä. There has been some problems there, not too many, but in Finnish standards, they're a little bit problematic. And we could actually do a lot of we could actually do a little bit more surveillance there, and there could be some support to the policemen there, and we just have to do a little bit more cooperation with different kind of operators there, so we could make it a little bit safer. But in general, Finland and Jyväskylä, it's a very safe place.
maybe we in Finland can be a little bit blind to
Exactly. I mean, I've seen it all, so I can tell you that Finland is very safe.
And you played ice hockey internationally and traveled the world as an MP.
Well, yeah, I played in States. I studied there. I was in Germany. I was in Sweden. I was in Russia. So believe me, when I say that Finland is very safe, it is safe.
We believe you. And to everybody who has voting rights on this municipal election in Jyväskylä, you can vote Sinkku with the number 178.
Sinuhe Wallinheimo is the name, not Sinkku.
And municipal election only because you're an MP. So let's not stretch Sinuhe to 3 different places.
Levels, yeah.
2 is plenty enough from you service to our country and our city. So to everybody who has not yet got election rights, get your citizenship going, and you're gonna need a job. So contact me, Tuomo Kallimäki, on LinkedIn, and let's work on that. I do LinkedIn courses for people.
We both have very good connections.
Yes.
So if you need some help to get a job here, so just reach out.
Connect Sinuhe Wallinheimo, connect Tuomo Kallimäki, Kallimäki podcast. So thanks a lot, Sinkku, for joining us once again on Kallimäki podcast, and let's have a good election in 2 weeks.
Thanks. It was a pleasure again.
Likewise.